Liking Lifestyle here. Market recap number 5. I'm gonna start it off with this time. Stock market playlist, 30 resources, $30. I think I might make a subset of this list for 15, so be on the lookout for that. All right, so today wasn't as crazy, but still eventful. There's a lot of stuff we got to cover up. And I'm going to do a full week recap tomorrow because, this is a lot of paperwork here. So I'm going to really delve into it a bit deeper on Saturday since I have time to. So we're going to kick it off with what died today. So bear with me a moment. So what died? We had 7 plays that technically died. Let me show you 2-day, 2-hour. P said Prospect Capital, very good dividend stock. Like I said before, look it up. The $8 call was triggered up here yesterday, but it didn't do much. It was shooting for, the first level was up here. It was only, 10 cents, but it didn't make it. So you can consider that a false break, I guess. And then the put, it died because the put got triggered. So we'll cover that on the second half. SITC, $15 call. I'm going to do 2-day, 2-hour. Went as high as 123% yesterday. Today, it is down to 29%. So that's a decent drop. It's still up, but you definitely missed the ballpark on that. You lost 100%. Just let that sink in. AES, which is AES Corp, 2-day, 2-hour. It triggered the $24 call yesterday, and it almost, that was in the pre-market, so that doesn't count. Triggered the call yesterday, didn't do much, didn't hit the first level, fell, tapped the put. Technically, it triggered the put. So you could say this is dead, but if we go to the 2-day, 30-minute, it's dancing up there, so it's probably gonna fall on Monday. So we'll say the put is triggered. So yeah, that kills that call side. Citigroup, one of the all-stars of the week, went up to 70% yesterday at highs, and today it is back to the opening. So it is down at least 70%, maybe even more than that. PG, Procter & Gamble, 141 call was triggered today, right here. Actually, no, it was triggered down here. I think it was triggered yesterday. No, it was triggered today. Triggered today at market open. Boom. And went up to 138%, and it's back down. So it's probably still up maybe 20-25%, but that's considered dead as well. AJG, which is Gallagher, Arthur J. Gallagher, don't really know who they are. Were they triggered today? Yes, they were triggered today. Let me get that out of there. They were triggered today. It was the 140 call. Hit a couple levels, and it's back to break even, so you consider that dead as well. Or it could come back tomorrow, on Monday. ESRT, this is a long. I'm testing this out also on swing plays. And it mostly becomes a swing play when the option volume is too low. Like if it's only like 50 people that want the option and there's like 5 people that want to sell it, it's not worth trying to get an option. So you could try to get a swing on it. So the long was triggered yesterday at 11.89. It went up to 12.16, which is what's that? 27 cents. It's a decent little swing, 27 cents. And then it fell. If you have a 10% stop loss, it hasn't triggered that yet. Cause that would be 11.16 and 20. So yeah, you'd have to be like 10.90 something. Around the 10.90s for this to be a complete loss on a swing. But for the sake of the trigger points, the long died. And JP Morgan. JP Morgan is not necessarily dead, but the 155 call was technically triggered right here, but it's kind of stagnant. So you can consider that a false breakout, I guess. Because it did pop off the top, so maybe this should have been a put entry. Now that I see the broad information right there, but you know, yeah, that is the top of the. Let me go back a little more. Let's make that. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, tapped. It tapped and it's falling back. So this might have been a put setup actually, but we'll see on Monday. So that is the dyed swing set. Now, what was triggered? A lot of stuff was triggered today. A lot of stuff hit. We'll go over what hit in a minute. Let me minimize this for a second. Bam. Now, what was triggered? Today was the round 5 checklist. You can see I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 potential plays. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them were triggered. And of those 8 that were triggered, quite a few hit actually. So yeah, we'll cover that in a minute. XM, which is Quadric International Incorporated. $40 call right here was triggered at 40.34 and hit 53%. I'll cover the hits in a minute, so we're just gonna go over the trigger. $40 call was triggered. We don't do YouTube commercials over here. So I'm gonna just pause that. They ain't gonna get no ad revenue off of me. What else happened? Next up we have HD Home Depot. Good old Home Depot. Now, if you remember from my other video, I talked about how certain stocks are connected. Home Depot is the main competitor with who? Exactly, Lowe's. So Home Depot and Lowe's a lot of times have a very similar chart. So for the sake of showing, let's just see, where's Lowe's? See that? Let me go here. See the similarities? We got the bounce, bounce, and we got the bounce, bounce. It's not 100% the same, but it's close enough. So keep that in mind when you're learning. Some companies that you might be eyeballing, you might not get to play on that company, but if you know the competitor, they might be geared to make a move as well. For example, when Rocket Mortgages had their short squeeze and they went from 19 to 40, UWMC is the second top mortgage competitor to Rocket. So they went from like 7 to like 15. So, you know, Rocket went up like 3 times and they went up at least twice. So, you know, keep that in mind. Same thing, like I said, Walmart and Target, eBay, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, you know, they're all kind of connected. So Home Depot, 330 call was triggered at 329.33. Barely did anything. You could say this is stagnant, but it's just getting started, so there's plenty of time on that call. That call was a 820, so you got like 2 weeks on that. Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble was a nice one today. Procter & Gamble 141 call was triggered and died in the same day, like I said before. The 141 call was triggered at 143.64. CB, Chubb Unlimited. Remember them, I've been covering them throughout the week. The 170 call was re-triggered. Because I think yesterday, when did they die? Yeah, the call died 2 days ago. Right there. On round 3. The CB call died. Let me do the 10-day, 4-hour. Yeah, see, the call popped up way up here and died, triggered the put. Technically triggered the put, but not really. it then popped back up. So the call is re-triggered. So that gives you the ability to either enter again or average down or whatever. So the 170 call was re-triggered at 169.21. The beauty of the strat method, what I'm learning, and that'll be covered in my next course. I think I'll just make a short and sweet setup about what I'm doing right now. You can still get to what I'm doing now through my regular course, but I'll make it more pinpoint. Because that's what I'm really promoting now is my progress with this. So I'll pinpoint exactly what I learned and how you can learn it as well. And if you're good at comprehend, well, it's going to take you a while to get the hang of it because you have to understand candlestick patterns and bull flags and, you know, engulfing candles, hammers, shooting stars, stuff like that. Once you get the hang of that, you should be fine. I'll give yourself 2 months. Delta Airlines $40 put was triggered at 40.31. AJG Gallagher, the 140 call was triggered at 139.99. And CZR, Caesars Entertainment. That might be connected to what's those guys? Vegas Sands? Let me see. Vegas Sands. Yes, they are connected. You see, I'm learning this right now. Look at that. Las Vegas Sands. Caesar. Look at that. Damn near identical. Caesar had a bigger fall, but because Las Vegas wasn't connected, but it's still connected, the fall wasn't as big. You see what I'm saying? So the leader is going to have the big fall, but the secondary is just going to follow along. You know, little brother's not going to be able to jump as big as big brother, but he's still going to try. So yeah, that's another one right there. 85 put was triggered at 88.05. ORC Orchid, a short, was triggered at 5.04, and it's down almost 10 cents. Decent. And Bed Bath & Beyond, $28 put was triggered at 28.44. PSEC, Prospect Capital. Like I said, very good dividend stock. After the $8 call was killed, the $8 put was triggered. That's really how you know the one side is dead when the other side wakes up. Those are the rules I'm going to use. Now, granted, when you take the option, you shouldn't necessarily do that. You should probably have, a percentage stop just in case that might be 80% between the two entry points. Like, for example, like Amazon, it might be like $500-$600 in between the call side and the put side. So you're going to let that call side fall $500 before you get out. You pretty much just gave it away. So you should still do maybe 10, 20%, 30% at the most. If you got high tolerance, you can do 50%. But I wouldn't say any more than 50%. I mean, if you got a 80% stop loss, you're just gambling. Even 50% is gambling. I would say 30% should be the highest you should go. So that even if you lose a few, you still have a chance to keep going. $8 put was triggered at 8.12. PAGP, Plains Group Holdings, $10 put was triggered at 10.44. Kellogg, I had some Frosted Flakes this morning. Kellogg, $65 call was triggered at 63.75. Well, actually, it was Lucky Charms Frosted Flakes. They ain't all that, but close enough. ESRT, Empire State Realty. Man, look at that name. Why is that name so long? Anyway, ESRT. $10 put was triggered, which is really a short because the volume. So here's another one. The volume was so low on the options. Matter of fact, I could show you that on the options chain over here. This was the $10 put. $10 put, look at that. There's no bids on it. Zero volume, 12 inches. There's nothing. Nobody's here. Nobody's here. So if nobody's there, oh, they're trying to go to a commercial. So if nobody's there, there's no need for you to try to get an option because you're not going to get filled. So then it becomes a swing. So the long that died yesterday is officially dead because of the short being triggered. Now the long, if you're going to do a swing, I would recommend 10% stop loss. So the long is not necessarily dead yet, but for the sake of the strat, it is dead because the other side has been activated. So the $10 put, which would be an 1160 short, triggered, and it was down 20 cents. So that was decent. And is that everything? Did I get everybody? XM, HD. All right, one more. Let me add this one. I wrote it down after I started. CP, Canadian Pacific. This has been a very nice runner for the week. And up here, this is hitting all-time highs on the week. But that line right there is a weekly trigger. I'll show you. Let me show you here. CP. It's hard to tell. Right here is the weekly bar. So that's a weekly trigger at 74.35. So this is the first time I'm going to see how this plays out. What this does is that when the weekly trigger hits, if that is activated, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if you were to add a longer term option because it hits the weekly trigger, what will happen? So the 917 $75 call is triggered. So I'm doing the same strike price, but I'm doing a month longer because the 917 is after the 820. The 820 is the regular one that I did, which is up 42%, which I'm going to cover in a minute. But the 917 is now activated. So we'll see next week how that goes. I'll make sure I keep an eye on that to see if it's worth it to, double down after you're already up a decent amount. Or is it smarter to just, take the money and leave? So we'll see about that. And that is the triggered new day. Are we off commercials now? Okay. Here's the options chain. And what hit the target? Oh, Pinterest. Y'all remember I told y'all yesterday Pinterest was going crazy. Let me show you the 2-day, 2-hour. Look at that drop. Look at that drop. Beautiful drop. Beautiful. So this happened after market. So I wasn't able to mark these levels 100%, mostly because I didn't know if it was accurate or not. So I'm just catching it as it falls, and I'm just marking what I saw. So yesterday I think I had said it was like 205% after market, but it was really, yeah, there it goes right there, 205% right here. But as you can see, at this point it went all the way down here. So that was 238% return on a $450 call that still has, maximize it again, $450 call, and it still has, let's see how much time, it still has weeks on it. It expires August 20th. So you can let it ride if you want. I mean, Pinterest is looking bad right now. They popped a little bit, but they're still low. So, I mean, they can keep going below 60, below 55 maybe. So it could probably end up being 400 or 500%. So we'll watch this for next week as well. What I'm going to start doing with these, so I don't have to keep tracking all of these, after they hit a few targets, I'm going to consider that good money and just gone. So I'm going to delete it from my list, so I can concise my list for the ones I think are going to keep going, so I can track those as well. Under Armour, $18 call that was triggered yesterday hit for 30%. Right here, it went from 1781 to 1801. You see, that's only 20 cents. That's only 20 cents. So if you bought it for $17 and you made 20 cents, that's less than 1%. No, that's like less than 2%. It's like 1.3% return. But with an option, that's 30%. $85 to $110. That's why the strat works so well with options, because the small movements are compounded and they're what's the word? Exaggerated. Yeah, take a sip on that. They're exaggerated. So, Procter & Gamble that was triggered and died in the same day. 141 call hit 138% up here. XM, $40 call hit 53% right there. CB 170 call that was re-triggered hit the first target, but I wasn't watching it all the way, so I don't know the percentage on that. But I know the redo wasn't $400. It was $300 because it was, less time on it. So it was considered, more dead in the water. So I'm going to say 10, 15%. I don't know. AJG 140 call hit 24% right there. Almost hit the second target. So that was almost, let's say, 40% on the second target. Micron. Good old Micron. Let me move this over. Good old Micron. $77 call that had died earlier in the week when the put got triggered. Came back. Let me do 2-day 12. You see down here? That's the put. The put got triggered down there. So the put already made 50%, I think. And then the call got re-triggered right here. And it hit the second target when it got re-triggered. So it was up at least 25, 30%. Let me go back to that. STX. STX was probably the top dog of the week. One of the top dogs of the week. STX was going crazy. It triggered the call way down here and just kept on going to 203%. And it technically has more legs on it, but it's a 7:30 call, so it expired today. So you had to take your money right there. Now I would watch this longer, but I didn't make another strike to track it. So it'll be pointless for me to try to track it with the old numbers. So I'm gonna have to let that one go. Still awesome trade. Probably one of the best, definitely one of the best trades of the week. CZR, like I said, 85 put was triggered, hit 40%. And it still has room. It's an 820, so it hit 40% today, but I mean, hey, that's not that far away. And this is actually an add-on spot for level 2, so I'm gonna keep an eye on that as well. Delta Airlines $40 put was triggered, like I said, and it hit for 20%. Canadian Pacific $75 call hit for 42%. This is a new high for this one because yesterday was at 21%, so it doubled from yesterday to today in a percentage base, of course. ESRT, the short, triggered at 1160, hit for 20 cents. So that's a decent little bit. And that is the hits. So that's the hits, the triggers, and the died of the day. Market recap round 5. Whew. It's been a good week, to say the least. I'm going to tally up all of these trades tomorrow and compound them for if you took every single trade, every single one, where would you be of the ones that hit and the ones that died? The ones that are stagnant, I can't count those yet. Mostly because they're not finished. They haven't died or they haven't hit. So they're just there. Like HD and other ones are kind of just in the water. So if they're just chilling in the water, let them float for a bit. Especially if I got time on them, at least a week or two. So thank you guys for watching. Yeah, I'm not going to be late of a night for me this time. Because yesterday I was up till like 1 in the morning. I had a bunch of stuff to do and I ended up, I was like, I still got a chart and I still got to do a video for you guys. Because if I don't do the video today, I'm not going to want to do it in the morning. I'm going to be tired. So I did it at like 1 in the morning, got it done. And now it's not as late today, so Yay for me. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a great weekend, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. I don't know what time. I need to work on like a release schedule, but I'm just starting. I only got like 5 views, so who really cares? But if anybody who's watching, the 6 people you there are, have any feedback, let me know. You know, if you can hear me right, if you don't like the music, you want more in depth. I will start doing more so a quick charting preview on how I do this, or how I've learned to do this so far, so you can start to practice it for yourself. But like I said before, at the beginning of the video, I would recommend, where I put it, I would recommend this right here. I have a smaller one coming soon, but yeah, because it's either I make a smaller one or I add it to this one and increase the price. So I'll just make a smaller one. So yeah, I think I'll end it there. Have a good one.